The day we wrote Xanny, the night before, I had been with a group of my friends, and they all got drunk and were throwing up, and I wasn't. And they were all, they were drooling, throwing up, drinking, kept throwing up, kept drinking more, kept throwing up more, and then kept drinking. What was really weird to me is that nobody cared. Like, the first girl that got drunk and started throwing up, nobody, they just held her hair back and just were like, she just was throwing up everywhere, and nobody was, fazed. And it was so weird. I just was like, what? Like, this is normal. That's normal for you guys. Just watching my friends become completely not who they were. Watching their personalities just, crumple up and, fall. There was this girl there. She had 2 cigarettes in her hands, and she put both of them in her mouth, and she went like this. "Hey, Billie." And she looked at me, and she went, and she blew the smoke into my face. We wanted it to sort of sound like what it feels like to be in secondhand smoke. I was thinking, what does smoke look like? How can we make it sound the way that smoke looks and the way that smoke feels in your lungs, and what your lungs look like when there's smoke in your lungs. And the thing is that if you listen to the song, you feel uncomfortable. If you listen to the verses in Xanny, that's more like a white silk, huge curtain that's just flowing around. It feels uncomfortable. It feels like a headache. It feels like, the verses are like what smoke looks like, and the choruses are like what it feels like. With a friend who's drunk, I'm alone. They're not there anymore. Drugs and, cigarettes you're slowly killing yourself with them. I can't afford to love someone who isn't dying by mistake. Loving someone, giving your all to someone, it's draining. Even if it's even if it's a good thing, even if you're in love with someone and they're in love with you, it takes a lot out of you. I don't want to love someone who I'm gonna lose because they're killing themselves. Right after that, I did the last vocals of the song, last verse, and a friend of mine had passed 2 days before, and so I was it was really hard, and especially it was really hard to record that song because I was really I was really emotional about it, and there was a lot of takes where I had to just stop because I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It's f***ing hard to sing when you're crying. It's f***ing hard. And so when you listen to the last verse of that song and it sounds super broken, it was just the rawest, I think, form of that time. I go to a cloudy hole. A beautiful, I love that song. I loved it right when we made it, immediately. We wrote it on just piano. Loved it immediately. Then we went to production. Loved that immediately. There was never a moment when me and Phineas were making that song where we were it was good every step of the way to us. It was everything about it. It was I can't, honestly, I can't even describe it. That song, just, the lyrics are one thing, but just the song as a whole, the song in general, the melodies and the chords and the bass and the drums and the distortion and the broken and raw vocal at the end, which I was crying at the end of.